And I'll just open my chat window so that if there is any issues, I can see from the chat window. Okay, guys. So assuming I'm audible now. So yesterday we focused on how do we launch a browser, right? Okay, so now as planned, today we'll see what are the different ways of finding a web element or finding an element on UI or on a application. Now let's just assume, okay, let's just assume you want to go to a specific place or to a specific person place, and if you want to ring the bell, okay, and if you want to ring the bell, then what's the first thing which you need? What's the first thing which you will be needing? Okay, guys. So if you want to go to a particular person, address, perfect. So couple of people say address, yes. So let's assume, okay, so Mohit is saying address. So let's assume if I'm planning to visit Mohit's house and I want to ring the bell of Mohit's doorbell, okay, so what do I need? Okay, I need the address of Mohit, okay, and that particular address I have to find. So either Mohit can give me the address, or I can find the address of Mohit. Now there are a lot of things, okay, there are a lot of things even after getting the address. There are a lot of things which will, let's assume Mohit is in US, okay. Now I don't know where Mohit is. Let's assume Mohit is in US. But once if I get the address of Mohit, okay, then what I can do is, you know, if I'm in Mumbai, okay, so I'll book a flight from Mumbai to say Chennai, or Mumbai to Delhi, and from Delhi I can go to US, and then within US there are where exactly Mohit is staying, I can go there, and then I can hire a taxi or a cab, and then I can go to his exact location, and then I can ring the bell. So these are all intermediaries, right? So I do not have to worry about all these things because we have Selenium and we have drivers, okay? So when you have the address, okay, and when I say I want to ring the doorbell means, let's say I want to click, .click, okay? So the only thing which I am focused is I want to get the address of this particular element, okay? And after getting the element, I'll be performing some actions. All these will be done in the background, okay? Your Selenium will be sending some of the instructions to your drivers, then your drivers will be communicating to your browsers, and then your browser will be responding something. You will be using send keys, and they'll be entering those data over here, right? You have to worry nothing about all those things. The only thing which you need to worry is your address and exactly what you have to do. Like if you want to ring the doorbell, then that ringing of the doorbell you have to focus. Okay, so you have to get the address and you have to get the method which we want to use. Now how do you get the address? Okay, simple. So there are many ways to get the address. Now, okay, let's now, if for an employee who is working in a company, okay, there are many ways. There are many ways through which an employee can get address. You can identify. For example, if I'm working in the company and my ID is, let's say, 47, okay, so that is one way. Now everyone might be aware of this basic thing, like how do you hover on a particular element and then you inspect it, okay. So when I inspect this particular element, okay, there is the element, this is the element, okay. So if you see, this particular DOM is saying this is of type input, this is my HTML tag input, and my name is, the name of this particular element is text username, and the ID, and we have the type, and then we have these many properties of this particular field, okay. Also guys, if you do Control F on this particular page, this is specifically for Chrome. I'm not sure if in browser also this feature is available, but for Xpath you can use this. We'll see this later, but first let's try to use this name feature. Okay, I'll say name, and then let's say we have used, okay, so we have already seen Xpath, I guess. Some of the ID we have seen, okay, no worries. And I don't want to click on any of the elements, okay. What I'll say is, I'll say driver. Today we are looking how many different types of this thing we have, what methods in by class, okay. So I'll say find elements by dot, okay. See, we have so many types of methods in by class. So I can have class name, okay. So let's say class name. Do we have class name over here? Okay, so class name is not there. So it's not necessary that all the properties which are available in by method should be available in the DOM as well. So some of the properties might be available, some of the properties might not be available. So we have one property as ID. Okay, so if you specify the ID, this over here, this will run. Okay, and we are not interested in running the code, guys. Okay, if you click on this particular button, it will run the code, and you and me both know that you can run the code. It's quite easy, but we will be focusing on the finding the elements. Now over here we have lot many methods again, so you can say clear, or you can say click, or you can say send keys. So currently we are focusing on send keys, so you can send any value over here. Simple. So this is one way of identifying an element. Okay, we can say by ID. Okay, now what's the next way? We have name over here. Okay, and then we have type over here. So these are a couple of ways wherein you can identify your elements. There's one more way wherein you can identify your element using Xpath. You can identify your element using CSS selector. Okay, so now anyone over here, font too small for the Eclipse, for this window you're saying font is too small. Okay, so please confirm Eclipse. Okay, Eclipse. So font is too small. Okay, now how do we? I think we should go to preference. So let me see if we have an option of colors and fonts. Anyone has any? Okay. Anyone has any quick idea like how do you? Okay, we can use this also. Now, is it good? Okay, I think it looks good now. Okay, so we were focusing on Xpath, I guess. Okay, so okay, so before that, anyone has heard of this Crowpath tool? Okay, but anyways, if you are there are nowadays there are a lot many tools which can be used. Okay, guys. So there is one Crowpath tool. You can use this tool to identify the relative XPath, the ID, and the name and the CSS selector. Your internet connection is unstable. Now, can you hear me now? Am I audible, guys? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So network fluctuation sometimes. Thanks for the confirmation. So this is one tool, Crowpath. Okay. I'm not sure if everyone or people are using it, but yeah, Crowpath is a tool. This particular tool helps you in finding the locators. You know, for example, if you want to get your locator by ID, okay, so you can simply use this Crowpath. Okay, you can simply use this Crowpath, and you can copy from here. You can copy the relative XPath, or you can copy the ID. So what you have to do is you have to just click on this, identify the element, and over here if you see in the Crowpath, okay, within Crowpath you have all the elements. You have the ID, you have the name. So let's assume, okay, let's assume if you are quite confused in terms of over here, like what is the name, what is the ID. I mean, it's quite clear over here as well, but if in any case you feel confusion, you can just simply go there. I have copied it. Now let's see what's the copied item over here. See, text part password. Okay, and I have copied the ID, right? I have copied the ID. Or if I say by.name, how to get Crowpath. So Crowpath is it's an open tool, guys. So you can simply Crowpath plugin for Chrome. Crowpath. So you can get it from here. Okay. Yeah, it's most of the time it's accurate. Okay, and anyways, we are not directly running the code in production, right? So whenever you copy something over here and when you try to run it over there, you can simply identify if it's not accurate. But I feel it's most of the time it's accurate. Okay, then see if you have CSS selector values also there. So basically for CSS selector, in front of ID we just put hash. Okay, or let's assume if you don't have Crowpath, so you can simply go over here. Okay, this is your text field again. Let's go to the basic. Find the element. This is your element, right? Just right click on this. Let's assume you don't have Crowpath. Still you have various default functions which are given by Chrome itself. Okay, So what you can do is you can copy selector. This is your CSS selector. Okay, let me copy this. We are dealing with password, right? So when I say CSS, this is your CSS value. Okay. Now when I say copy just say Xpath, copy Xpath, and when I print over here, I'll say copy Xpath. Okay, this is my Xpath. Okay, again, this is same element, guys. Okay, I'm not changing the element. These are the properties of the same element. I'll say Xpath. Now it's giving me Xpath again. The lot of difference between this and this. Okay, we'll see that. Okay, so see, there are all okay. So we got many information from this, and apart from this, we also have name. We have ID. Okay, so I can write it over here. We have ID. Okay, IDs is also available over here. Okay, guys, and I will see, guys. I won't be putting each and every value over here, and then I'll run and I'll show you, because it's going to run, right? There's no sense in putting these value and giving send keys. It's just a waste of time, because you and me both know that we'll be going to execute, right? So we should only be focusing on these particular items, okay? And the code will run definitely. Okay, so we have, yeah, thanks Gitu for the font size, but I think we are good as of now. Okay, we have ID, and then we have name, we have class as well. Okay, so we have class as well. And what more? I think we are good for this. And let's assume if you have URL. Okay, now let's move toward, these are all the web elements, and along with this, we also have URL. Let's see this. So for URL, okay guys, one more thing is the input tag. I mean the tag, so not input, but this tag, HTML tag for URL is A, okay, /A. Okay, so for URL, you have some of the methods. For example, this is your link, right? For link, so you can have your, these are specific for URL, I would say. Okay, so you have your LinkText. Okay, you can identify your element by your LinkText. So this is your forgot your password. Okay, so I'll say forgot your password. And there is one more way, PartialLinkText. Okay, there is one more way, PartialLinkText, and we will see that also. And let's assume if you do not know the entire this thing, let's assume this. Okay, password. Okay. Okay, so now I'll show you. We have seen by ID. Okay, so it is running by ID and it will run. Let's check only one thing for CSS. Okay, simple, not more than that. So I'll say by dot CSS. Okay, CSS selector. You can specify the value over here, and you can say dot send keys, and you can specify some value. Okay, you can specify some value. Simple. And here I'll say star dot, because I want my code to run, right? Okay, clean. And one more thing is, if you want to pause the execution, so this entire thing will be running on a thread. Okay, so you can simply use thread dot sleep. Okay, I can specify thread dot sleep, but before that, I want to see if people over here. So guys, if I use thread dot sleep, will it give me a warning, error, or anything like that? Gitu says no. Warning, error, anything? Okay, it's a check exception. Yes, it's a check. It's error. Saloni says error. Will it give me an error, or will it give me an exception? Thread.sleep. Oh, sorry, I was on the wrong window. Thread.sleep, and it says in milliseconds. Let me say 5,000, because 5,000 is 5 milliseconds, right? See, when you click over here, it says unhandled exception type interrupted exception. Okay, so it's giving you an exception, and you have to handle that particular exception. Okay, you have to handle that particular exception. And what are the ways wherein you can handle the exception? Either you can simply throw this exception, okay, and that's not the good practice, but you can simply throw this exception, or you can handle this exception in try catch. Okay, so that is a Java concept. Okay, that is Java concept. Let's not surround with try catch. Oh, this looks actually little, the code looks not so clean. Let's, for sake of this, I'll throw declaration. Okay, throw declarations. Okay, now when I run this code, so it will, what it will do is it will wait for 5 seconds, and after that it will start your execution again. Okay, it will simply wait for 5 seconds. Okay, so I haven't entered anything over here. I have entered over here, and whatever I have entered you cannot see because the type of that particular field was password. But trust me, it tried to enter this DGDG over there. Okay. Okay. So using this, I think we are sure that it will work with ID. It will work with class for CSS, and we tried for CSS, right? Now let's try for Xpath. Okay. So guys, one thing you can. Okay. Let me go for admin. Okay, you can simply use by.id, and this is freely available over here. So there is no meaning of finding the XPath of this particular element and then using XPath. Okay, because simply we have the ID. Okay, in cases wherein we do not have the ID or any concrete parameter or property of that particular element through which we can find that particular web element, then you should go for XPath. Okay, now since we have the ID, then it's not a good practice to go for XPath. Okay, a lot of time I have seen that even though there are various good properties and available for that particular element, still people are referring XPath. I mean, a lot of codes are in XPath, but no, we should not follow that. And now, when I simply copy the XPath of this particular element, it is working by ID as well, right, guys? It is working by ID as well, but I want to copy the same by XPath. So I can say by XPath, and I'll say dot send keys. I want to send something, and I'll send something. Okay. Now when I run this, so it is entering your value. Okay, your entry. It is actually trying to enter your value using XPath. But this is, I mean, yeah, it works, but this is not advisable. And the reason behind it is not advisable is because we already have ID. Okay, we already have ID, and ID precedes in terms of XPath. Like the preference is always given to ID. I'll explain you the preference as well. But just to give you an idea, ID is always given higher preference than XPath. Okay, so we have seen ID, class, it will work, CSS will work, XPath we have worked. Okay, now let's try this XPath. Okay, we have this. Let's copy the full XPath. Okay, let's copy the full XPath, and let's see. People say that do not use this XPath, but let's say why people say that do not use this. I'll use this. We are running out of time, so we'll have to rejoin if at any moment 10 minutes are still left. Yes, we can use // as well, right? So, okay, I'll explain that as well. So guys, did you saw this particular XPath is also working? Okay. And so let's see over here. This is also working and this is also working. What's the difference? What's the difference, guys? And this is definitely an interview question, guys. Absolute and relative. Okay. Absolute and relative. Okay. So, but yeah, but both of them are working, right? Mohit and Gitu. Both of them are working. Then, okay, I got your point. I got your point. Okay. So people are saying this is absolute. This is absolute. Am I correct? And people are saying this is relative. Okay. I got your point. This is absolute. This is relative. I know. And even you all know that's a very good thing. But this is also working, right? Relative. Okay. Only one bad thing or one thing which I can see is not good for relative XPath. It's too long. That's the only negative thing I can see. That it's too long. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. This is absolute. This is absolute. Absolute as in you get from the base. Okay, you get from the base, and this is relative. Yeah, this is quite long, I would say. Priyanka is saying it's wrong. No, it's not wrong. It's working. Okay, to write this much long. Okay, it's not good. I would say it's not good practice, but this is not wrong, right? This is not, because this is working. Harshita is saying if there is any change in DOM, relative will not work. Okay, okay, let's do one thing. When you go over here, username, and when you say copy, and you say copy full XPath, okay, okay, I think I have copied that. Okay, when you say copy full XPath, so now can you see it's starting from over here? Okay, now let's just do one thing. I have one braces over here. Okay, I have one braces over here. So let's assume this name is div. Okay, this name is div. I have one braces over here. Okay, no. 1 second. I'm trying to explain you guys. This name is div, and I have one braces within this, and this name is div. Okay, and I have one more braces within this. Name is div. Okay, and within this div, now I have. Okay, within this div, now I have my button. I have my button. Simple. So if I say absolute XPath means from the base, right? So I'll say this, I'll say div, then slash div, okay, then slash div, and then slash button. Okay, then slash button. And this is working, okay? And this, and trust me guys, this will work. This will work. Or what I can say is, I can simply say your relative XPath, okay? And I can say slash slash something like button, something. Okay, let's not worry about the syntax over here. This is your relative. Okay, and your absolute says div slash div slash div slash button, and both of them will work. Okay, now let's assume. Okay, let's assume tomorrow. Okay, let me write down over here. So div, and then within div we have div, and then within div we have div, and then we have your button. Tomorrow, if someone says that I want to add one more div, okay, I want to have one more div, and if he comes over here and if he adds a div, okay, if he adds a div, now will this particular button work now? Okay, so a lot of people are saying no, 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 no. Guys, this is an interview question. This will work, guys. This will again work. Okay, this will work. So guys, again, this is sort of question. So guys, this is what I was trying to say. If you keep on entering all these elements, how people practice usually is, they keep on entering ID. Okay, let me try with ID. Yeah, it's working. Wow, good. So they try with CSS. Yeah, it's working. They run the code, it's working. And we both know that it's going to work, and that is not important. What is important is what will work and what will not work in which circumstances. This is going to work, right? Because I am finding this element button. Okay, so your code will say, okay, go to div. It's saying go to div. Yes, I am in div. Within div, again, go to div. Yes, I am in div. Within that, go to div. Yes, I am going in div. Within that, go to button. Yes, I am going in button, and I am finding the button. Okay, fine. Now, let's assume someone says, add one more div. Like this. And within div, now I have one label. Now will this code work? Now this won't work, right? Because again, it will follow the same parameter. You go to div, okay, I am in div. Again in div, yes, I am in div. And then go to next div, okay, next div. Guys, there might be some issues with in terms of hierarchy, okay? So do not focus on that, on this thing. Okay, so now it's saying button. No, I have label over here. There's no button. Okay. So there are high chances when your website or your application keeps on modifying, okay, and the DOM keeps on changing, okay, and when the DOM keeps on changing, then there are chances wherein your relative, I mean, your absolute XPath won't work, okay, because yeah, the element which you're trying to find is present on the website, guys. Okay, there is one more thing you should be aware of. The element which you are trying to find, this particular button, this is present on the website, and this is a legal and valid button, and it is present, but still you're not able to find. The only reason is the address. I would say again, the address is changed. Mohit gave me an address, okay, and after giving me the address, Mohit shifted from that particular address, okay, and now I'm trying to ring bell of someone else's house, okay, but still Mohit stays in the same building. So this is a classic example, guys. This is a classic example. Mohit was staying in the first floor, okay, and Mohit said that above the ground floor I'm staying. Above the ground floor I'm staying. Okay, so I went over there, and above the ground floor, the first floor came, and Mohit was staying over there, and it's quite simple. Now Mohit shifted one more floor up, and now he's on second floor. Okay, but I am having the information that above the ground floor Mohit is staying, so I went again and above the ground floor on the first floor, and now Mohit is not staying over there, right? But Mohit is staying in the same building, right? So Mohit is there in the application. So this particular field is there in the application. Still, I'm not able to find. Okay, that's why people say avoid your which type of XPath? Absolute XPath. So whenever, and to identify absolute XPath, whenever it starts from your base, HTML body and all those things, just ignore that particular XPath. And this is your relative XPath. Okay. Now, how do you find your relative XPath? One quite simple is you can use CrowPath, or you can use this right click, and here also. I'll show you some ways of how do you find. Okay. Control F is not working. Okay. So XPath starts with double slash. Okay, simple. XPath slash starts with double slash. Now you want to write, guys, it's less than a minute. We'll have to join again. Okay. It's showing less than a minute, and we'll have to join again. I'll just end this meeting. Let's quickly join. Okay, guys.